Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the EU Playoff Opponent Selection stream, brought to you by CGL. No, I'm not gonna do that kind of intro. Hey guys, it's me, Headrammer, and we got Munching Carrot here as well, your resident carrot connoisseur.
Hello everyone.
Alright, so we're gonna try to not take too much of your time here, but let me give you a quick rundown on how this is all gonna work. And this is our first time doing something like this, so apologize if any scuffness does happen, but we will do our best to make it interesting. Alright, so basically how this is going to work, we have 3 tiers of EU teams that have to pick their opponents. We're going to start at tier 2, because there's no tier 1 for EU. Then we'll go tier 3, and then tier 4. And with each tier, we'll bring in the first team that is going to be selecting their opponent. They will talk about who they've selected, and then we'll bring in the representative from the team they selected to kind of like, you know, react or respond to being picked. We do allow a little bit of friendly banter, but obviously use common sense like you ought to say on stream, because again, you can be punished for what you say. I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to put it out there in case someone says they didn't know. Additionally, we're starting with tier 2 here first, so let me give you a quick rundown on how the tier 2 format is working if you do not remember. So tier 2 has 4 teams making the playoffs in EU. It's going to be a top 4 double elim, and the only team, because it's top 4, the only team that's picking their opponent is the number 1 seed. So number 1 seed will pick their opponent, and then they'll pick their opponent between seeds 3 and 4, essentially. And then after that, the remaining 2 will play each other. It's typically how that works. And we'll review the format for tier 3 and tier 4 when we get to those things. So we might as well start right off the bat. So the 4 teams that are making playoffs in tier 2 EU are Regier, Mustangs, T2, Aero 404 Minotaurs, Aero 404 Strike, and Clopeterta? Oh, I'm terrible at saying names, so I apologize for clearly butchering the names, but those are the 4 teams making it. And for that, we'll have the Mustangs here pick first. So Munching, do you want to bring the representative from the Mustangs in?
Yeah, let's bring in Mr. Flo Genus.
Hello.
Hey there, Flo, how you doing?
How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Alright, good. So, how does it feel getting that number 1 seed here in Tier 2 EU?
It's really surprising. I think, like, obviously, we're very good. I'm proud of my team.
Mm-hmm.
We took a long way. Everyone at the start of the season expected BM, like Russian Mustangs, to finish last, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And then, like, we were, like, Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay. That's actually a pretty impressive showing then.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
It's a nice storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So, with you guys ending here as the number 1 seed in the regular season, you get to because that's being top 4 are making it, only the number 1 seed, you guys get to pick your opponent here first. And you get to pick between seeds 3 and 4 for your opponent, which is either Chimera Strike or the Clopeter or T2 team. Which one are you guys picking?
We're gonna pick Clopeter.
Okay, and is there any specific reason behind that pick?
I think, like, we screamed them a couple times, and we felt really good with that. It was a good match. I love their team. I don't know, I talked with my team, everyone agreed about that. Yeah, that's absolutely the thing.
Sweet. So why don't we bring in here the representative from the team you just picked to hear their
Tiki
thoughts.
from Colopretra. Hi there, Tiki. How are you doing? You're also muted. There you are.
So, in case you didn't hear, you just got picked to play the Mustangs here in the first round. What are your thoughts on being picked here first?
I think we've had a good start to the season. Maybe not the best end, but I think that we're ready for whatever Mustangs have to bring. We're a good team. I think we can pull out with the win.
Okay, and is there anything, especially that you think, any reason they picked you?
I think we've had quite a few bye weeks, but I mean, that just gives us more time to practice our communication, our skills, stuff like that. So I think we'll be prepared to get the win on the day.
All right, that's good to hear. Well, thank you both for joining us here. We're gonna hear from now the number 2 and number 3 seeds who now by default are playing each other.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Genus and Tiki.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now we're actually going to be bringing in the other 2 teams, which, funnily enough, are both Error 404 teams.
Oh,
Error 404 Minotaurs and Error 404 Chimera Strike. So we're going to bring in Aldi and Blueberries to come talk on their playoff match. So you guys, hey Blueberries, hey Aldi, welcome to the stream. Or Boobery, sorry.
Oh.
Not Blueberry. Not bad.
So, in case you guys did not hear, Mustangs picked the number 4 seed, Leptera T2, which means the 2 Era 4 teams play each other here. First round. What are your thoughts on, I guess, actually first, what are your thoughts on Mustangs picking the 4th seed before we talk about your guys' matchup?
It's probably the more obvious choice to go for. We're all quite close, I reckon, but it's quite obvious for the 1st and the 4th to choose each other. That leaves a very close match in between us and Minotaurs, so I can't wait for that match.
Yeah, who do you guys think is going to come out on top? Because obviously, it's Era 404 Orcs, so keep it in the family for this matchup here.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
does that work? Do you guys communicate a lot, team by team? Do you guys practice with each other a lot?
yeah, we do a lot of scrims between each other, so there's probably quite a bit of tension in between the 2 teams, and it's gonna be high intensity. I can say that.
So I'm expecting, at least if I had another team in Oregon, I had like a sister or brother team, I would, I'd be BAMing the crap out of my other one. Like, you got that kind of inter-team banter. Do you guys have that between your 2 teams? Lou? Burberry? And Jesus, you there? Alright, well, we appreciate your contributions, and we look forward to seeing those matchups there.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Alright, so those are our Tier 2 teams. Colopatra Tier 2 are going to be playing Brashear Mustangs Tier 2, and then Error 404 Minotaurs are going to be playing Error 404 Chimera Strike in the 1st round. That will be in a double elim bracket, so no matter who loses, they will be getting another shot in playoffs, so that's pretty good.
Exactly.
But now we're going to move on to EU Tier 3,
exactly.
where there's 8 teams. Let me run down the format real quick on my little notepad. There's going to be 8 teams in playoffs, top 4 from each division, 1 and 2. And then the top 3 teams will pick their opponent from the bottom 4 seeds. And then the 4th seed team will play whoever is left over.
Yep, exactly. So, the 8 teams that are making the playoffs here for Tier 3, and what I'm about to say them is in the order of their seeding. Number 1 seed is Legacy Aftermath. Number 2 seed is Era 404. Specifically the Fenrir one. Number 3 seed is Perma Voids, who gets the tiebreaker over Vazdem. The number 5 seed is Sunrise. Number 6 is Illusion Kinetics. Number 7 is Team Enigma. And number 8 is Team Botland.
Hotel Botland.
Yeah, Botland, yes.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Let's go in and hear from Mr. Nitro, from the captain or representative of Legacy Aftermath. Hey there, Mr. Nitro. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm doing all right.
Nice.
So- We just gave the rundown of the teams that can make it, or the teams that you can pick. Go from Sunrise, Illusion Kinetics, Team Enigma, and Shut Up Online. But before we get to those, let's ask, how did your season go? You guys finished first. That's pretty good. Were you expecting that?
Yeah, so I'd love to say I was expecting that, but I mean, there's a lot of really. I like to think we've got a good roster, but there were times where we did a little bit of trolling, and yeah, we. It's a surprise, but you know, I'll take it, and I think we did deserve it. Yeah.
Do you have any like kind of struggles you have to deal with throughout the season? Because one of the things that's fairly common, that happens to a lot of teams, is obviously it's a 9-week regular season with a week of preseason, and it's a fairly long period of time. You know, metas can shift, people's lives can change, and things happen. Is there any kind of struggles your team ran into throughout this regular season?
I think especially, I mean, we've been through like 5 different off-tank players in this season alone, which has been it's caused some difficulty, but I feel like we've done well to, you know, come back from that and keep going.
Yeah, I can understand. I've had to deal with problems with like shifting tank rosters myself, and like I guess personally, tanking it seems like tank players are the hardest ones to find absolutely anywhere.
I mean, you found a lot of them, just not for very long.
True. So I guess let's get around into picking here. So between Sunrise, Illusion, Enigma, and Bartland there, which team will Legacy Aftermath be picking first round?
We're going for Enigma.
Enigma. Okay, so you're not going for the 8th seed. What is?
We're not going for the 8th seed, no.
No. Okay. So how did you come about this pick?
I mean, Botland, I think they've got a good core. I think their tanks are very good. Enigma, like, obviously, you know, no disrespect, he's not here, so he can't really come back from it. But I think they're lacking in roles that other teams aren't, and becoming. Sure, they were technically higher seeded. They were also in what's probably a easier bracket. So.
Okay. Well, why don't we bring,
easier matches. Yeah.
Why don't we bring the representative from Enigma in here?
He's not here.
He's not here.
No, he's Donald us.
Yeah.
He's Donald us. Okay. So, yeah. So do you? So you think this? Do you think this will be a fairly easy matchup then, or do you think this will be something you guys have to prepare for?
We've got to. I mean, I'm not going to get cocky with it. I think we can. We're not going to just let up because we think it'll be easy. We still need to, you know, try. But I'm confident, but not arrogant in it. I feel like we've got a good chance. But yeah, anything can happen.
Absolutely. I mean that makes perfect sense. You gotta feel the moment you let your foot off the gas is the moment like just take an inch and then it could all collapse right from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say here before we move on to get the next pick?
Not really, no.
Alright then. Well, thank you for joining us here, and we're gonna bring in the representative from Arrow 404 to get their pick as being the 2nd seed.
Okay.
Thank you, Nitro, for coming.
That's alright.
Bring him in here. Hello there, Mr. Saberfang, I believe.
Hi there. Yep, that's correct.
That's right. Cool. How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. How about you?
No, not too shabby. So before we get into voting, or not voting, picking, so your team, Fenrir, ended 2nd place regular season. How are you, you guys feeling good? Were you expecting 2nd or above your expectations, below?
So we're relatively a new team. A lot of our guys were wanting to really get 1st seed, but with the change in schedule, unfortunately, we were unable to claim the top seed, which is fine. We got more playtime, which is nice. But unfortunately, even though we didn't get 1st, we still got 2nd seed, and you know, we busted our butts. So that's all I care about, personally, on my end, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Raymond.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that I asked this question to Legacy before you, and I was just wondering, kind of based on your season, is there any kind of like things your team has had to overcome throughout it. So Legacy had to overcome over the season, having to swap like off-tank players many, many times. You know, it's a long season. Schedules change, people change. People have life events, and sometimes things just happen. Is there anything your team had to struggle with to overcome to maintain that second seed?
Actually, quite a bit. We have 12 people who are, very, very forward-minded. They're very dominant. Everybody knows what they want to do and how they want to do it. So trying to create a synergy for that many people in order for us to maintain, some cohesive attitude as well as play style, it took a lot. That's not including, of course, new people and old people combined. It's just, that's probably the most difficult thing we had to deal with. For the first 4 weeks, we were scrimming 6 days a week before games. So we put a lot of time and effort to just try and get ourselves to a situation where we could get to where we wanted in order to obtain at least a seed.
Mm-hmm. And six days a week is quite a lot of scrimming. Did you guys ever find that was burning yourselves out?
Yes. Once we hit the top teams that we knew that we would possibly lose to, and we accepted that we possibly would lose to, we started sort of having a lot of chaos. Like before I think it was week 5 against Vazdam, we spent almost 6 hours just heavy debating, heavy arguments, and then in the end, then everyone had issues. We had like 5 people who were unable to show up. So we ended up playing our Vazdem game with like 5 supports, 1 DPS, and 1 tank, and we had to like 2 people off roll. And after that, we still have struggles, and we still, are trying to find our place as a team. But I feel like we really pulled through with that kind of situation where, despite all the things that we do to ourselves, we still managed to pull a win. And so we decided after that we were going to cut down on the scrims, and we started doing roughly about 3 to 4, and that's usually what we do now.
Yeah, it's a lot more manageable. I can totally understand that. I've been part of a team before where for quite a while they were scrimming like three times per day, and it was just like, in the beginning it was kind of cool, but it was like, very shortly I was like, oh shoot, this is a lot of time. You can get really burned out in the game pretty fast. And
well, I'm also a coach for NA, so I understand that. Like I have cases where I actually have the game, and then I have the game at, for me, it would be 2 a.m. So I understand that.
Yeah, I can. I don't think I could personally live on some of the schedules that some of the EU players have. My NA, I play on the NA Xbox side, for example, and my team has 3 EU players on it, and sometimes I stay up for those things that sometimes, admittedly, I'm a little concerned about the sleep schedules these people contain, but I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time management, but I've got time right now, and so that's what I'm doing until I find a job, because I'm actually an expat from America, moved to the Netherlands. So.
Oh. All right.
Very
well,
cool.
We've built up enough here, I think. So, out of the remaining 4 teams that were originally able to be picked from, you're able to pick between Sunrise, Illusion, and Botland. Which will be picked by Arrow44?
Honestly, we kind of decided that we wanted to play against Botland. Botland is a team that I seem to remember in the beginning of the season. They had a very negative rep that they were, really bad. But honestly, the fact that they've pulled through, they have some heavy hitters like Mox and Sync and Spod, and I just feel like that's going to be one of the games that we're going to prefer to play, at least for the first match.
Okay.
All right, so we brought in Mr. Fire from Chateau Botland. Fire, how you doing today?
Fire.
I'm all
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Howdy. There we go. Couldn't
So-
hear you for a second.
So your team just got picked by Arrow 44 to play them in the first round. A reminder, they are the second seed. What are your thoughts on being picked here?
Yeah, I mean, we were told to be the weakest team coming into playoffs, but I mean, just a few weeks ago, we kind of took Arrow to a map 5 and it was extremely close, so we're not that scared. We do think we can probably win this if we don't throw.
Okay.
All right.
What would you say is something your team has to do in order to take down the number 2 seed? Like almost like the Vancouver Titans like conditions the win or something like that they post.
We just need to keep our heads together, because for us, as soon as one thing goes wrong, we kind of get split all over the place and get angry at each other. So if we just stick together and keep our mentals, we can win easily.
Yeah, Overwatch is such a mentality-based game that things can really snowball out of control, like you mentioned. Is there anything you want to say to Arrow 44 here?
Yeah, I mean, you might regret this, that's all.
Oh snap!
Hey, you know what? I'm here for the fight. Let's just play our butts off. That's all I care about. Whoever wins, wins.
Yeah, and whoever, a reminder, even if whoever wins this one, it goes into a double elim after round 1.
So you're still in the single elim phase. So if you lose this, you're out of the tournament.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you two for joining us. We're gonna move on here to Perma Avoids to get their pick
Thank
as being
you.
their seed. Good luck to both of you.
Yes, for coming. All right, now we're gonna bring in Mr. Impede or Toph from Permanent Woods. Hey there, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. Let's do some picking.
Yeah.
Let's do some pick.
Any surprises from what people have picked so far for you?
I was completely expecting it. I was expecting Illusion and Sunrise to be the 2 remaining teams. And I was expecting Enigma and Bottom to get picked first. I wasn't sure who would pick who, but I had somewhat of an idea that Enigma would get picked by Illusion.
Okay.
Right.
What you mean Enigma picked by Legacy?
Oh, by Legacy, yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So we've kind of been asking this to each team that's been joined so far. I mean, your team has a 7-2 record, which is a pretty good record overall. What is your team had? What is your kind of, as you look back at your team's season, how would you summarize how it's been for you guys?
Well, our first 5 games, I believe, our first couple games were all 3-0s to us. So we hadn't dropped a map for a while. And then we lost 3-0 to a team that's actually currently eliminated, the other Arrow 4 team. I think it's Serbius. And then from that, we ended up losing 3-1 to a team that we had previously beat 3-0, which was Illusion. So that was a bit of a shock for us. I think we were a lot better the second that we had a lead. But in this last week, we proved that we can come back from being down, and we reverse swept Botland quite decisively. The last 3 maps only took about 25 minutes, so it was not very close at all the second we started playing how we should be.
Yeah, and the ability to reverse sweep is incredibly mental based too. To have to be able to, because you're always in that moment where you're almost about to lose. So it's good to see you guys are able to come back from a situation like that. Is there anything like your team, besides having some little bit of mentality issues in certain parts of it, is there anything else your team's had to overcome this season? Because obviously it's a long season.
I think just before the season, about 4 of our players left, so we had to recruit quite a few players within a week of the season starting, and then get scrum time together, which was quite frustrating, having players that you'd been scrumming with since February, March just suddenly leave, and then having to rebuild around effectively new support line and a couple new DPS players. But yeah, we overcame that, and we had a very strong start to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, you guys have 2 teams that you're able to pick between here, Sunrise and Illusion. What team will Permavoid be picking?
We'll be picking Illusion.
Okay, is there any reason behind that?
We think that we can beat them. We think they're a good team. They have quite a few good players, but I think that we should be able to come out on top despite losing to them previously. And I think Sunrise are just a better team at the moment. And yeah, I don't really want to play Sunrise.
So is this kind of almost like kind of your attempt to get like a revenge match toward Illusion?
Yeah, a bit of a salty run back.
Ah.
All right. So, welcome Blazing Storm, Captain of Illusion. How do you feel
Hello.
about getting a double header against Permavoids here in playoffs?
Well, I'm actually quite surprised we have not been picked already, to be fair. I think I was not expecting to be playing against Perma, but I think it's come as probably a bit of a pleasant surprise, to be honest.
Why is that?
Good. Yeah.
Because I was honestly expecting to be picked by RF or Legacy and a team that we have not played very much, whereas being picked by Perma, who's a team we understand more and can probably put a bit more preparation into playing against.
That's true.
Interesting. Well, personally, I think that we're a better team than both Legacy and Era.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Strong words right there.
I think it'll be a good match. I think, despite Illusion's record, I think they're better than their record says. Same with Basdom and Sunrise. I think those are quite strong teams. So I think these 2 matches will be very close and very good to watch.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think we'll
Cool.
ultimately be able to come out on top, hopefully, and progress to the next round. That's the plan.
This should hopefully be
Well,
the plan.
since I took over Illusion in, I think it was week 5, we have played you guys once, and you had played previously before, like you mentioned before, where you guys beat us 3-0 or something. And since I took over the team around week 5, that we have played you, and we've scrimmed you a couple of times. I think we've probably traded scrim wins a few times each, and then we had the CGL game which we won 3-1 that I think you mentioned before.
Yeah.
So we understand each other's teams fairly well, and yeah, I think it will be a close match regardless of which way it goes.
So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is that you're thinking it's going to be the Blazing Storm diff, because you said once I took over the team, then things like went up. Is what you're saying?
Not necessarily. Like Illusion did start from, but Illusion during weeks 4, and during that sort of period, they were having massive amounts of roster issues, and at the time, that it just so happened that during that time that my old team Mythical was also having roster issues, that the team sort of merged, and I went and became the captain of Illusion, and a couple of my players from Mythical moved over as well. And since then, well, I think the record shows for itself that I think since then we have dropped 1 game, and that was when we had players on off rolls and didn't have the full roster. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you guys got the win on your last official matchup. From Illusion's perspective, what do you guys have to do to kind of prevent Permavoids from kind of getting that revenge win?
well, I think obviously we are starting our player preparation, and I think we understand the way Perma plays, and quite often I don't think they have a very distinct way of playing. And if we do our scrims and vodries and prepare to play around Perma, I think we can get the winner of them again the same way we did back in week 7.
Okay.
Another question for both of you. If I did my math right here, whoever wins your match will be going against the winner of Fenrir versus Botland. Who do you think will win that match?
RF.
I think probably
Fenrir.
whoever wins this match. Oh no, whoever wins. I think Botland could do some damage to Fenrir. I think if Fenrir on
Yeah,
paying
Fenrir
attention,
have a bad day. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Botland could win it, but I'm
So it's
expecting
really
Fenrir
up.
to win.
It's really up in the air right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think both our teams. If Botland were to beat Fenrir, I think regardless of which one of us wins this game, we'll are probably the better team than Botland.
I think
So-
regardless of whoever wins that game, I think whoever wins this game will just take the win over that side.
Yeah.
All right.
I think. Yeah.
Some fiery words.
I'm looking at the chat right now. I see Goal typing, what? Blazing. Calf, what is this slander? Are you off your head? I can't believe this. Is there any final words either of you two have for, in general or for each other?
I don't really
Don't
think
play
so.
double shields and don't try ego in my main tank, and I'll see you in the game.
I suppose we could maybe make an agreement that no one plays Farah, but despite that, I think there's nothing else I've got to say.
Don't worry, Tom is really bad at Farah, so you shouldn't have any issues dealing with him.
I
The
disagree.
self-team diff. Diss.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on.
See you in the game. Thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. So that leaves 2 teams left. The final matchup is going to be Vazdam Tier 3 versus Sunrise. Sunrise is not currently in the chat, so I'm going to bring in Weeb as me, the representative from Vazdam, to hear his thoughts. Hey there, Weeb. How are you doing?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
So, you guys ended 4th seed through the regular season. Does that meet your expectations? Lower? Are they higher than your expectations? Lower?
I mean, we were first week 7. We kind of dribbled next 2 weeks, so kind of would have liked to be top 3 so we can pick. But I mean, we're just gonna have to beat Sunrise, I guess.
That's true. Are you guys scared of Have you guys played them before? Or are they in the other division?
Yeah, I mean, we lost 3-0 to them in week 9, so.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty recent.
So it is a little bit of a
I
grudge
don't know.
match.
It's
Maybe.
yeah, it's a little bit of a grudge match. A little bit.
Okay, and what are your thoughts, before we go too in-depth into your match versus Sunrise here, what are your thoughts on some of the other picks that happened? Did anything surprise you?
I feel like they're quite easy picks. Some of the teams aren't the best. I mean, picking Botland, they're a bit bad, so it's a pretty obvious pick. All 3 of them, I think, whoever picked them would win, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So we had some other people talking up Botland earlier, saying they're better than people think.
I don't know. This has been, I don't know. I think some of the bottom teams have not the best players on their roles. Most of the DPS are quite terrible in top 8 or bottom 8. So.
Okay. If you, how about this? If you had to pick out a standout player on one of the bottom few teams, who would you pick?
What? That's the worst on their team.
No, like a standout as in, like, they're good.
Best of their team. Best of Botland.
The best of the team? Probably Botland. They have Gold, one of the better players. Probably like 2nd best hit scan in the league.
Ah.
So.
Gold's in the
Alright.
chat, so he's
Feel
gonna
kind
he's
of
gonna be
bad
happy about that one.
So if you say he's the 2nd best, then who's the 1st best?
We all know it's Nem, Mr. 4K, on Perma Avoided, so he's pretty
Alright.
good.
Okay, okay. So with
So
sorry, go ahead. Patrick.
go ahead. Okay. No, yeah, you go.
Yeah. So with you guys playing Sunrise then here, what you said you guys lost 3-0 last time. What kind of went wrong during that matchup? Do you think?
We're not the best dive team, and we got a few bad maps on week 9 with Nimbani, Oasis. Like, kind of prefer the Ryan comps, so maybe some better maps. Maybe if we can pick a few maps, maybe it'll be better for us and we'll get the win this time.
Well, the playoffs is loser picks map, but the higher seed picks does for first map, so you will be able to pick the first map in your matchup. But after that is loser picks. So, assuming you're winning your matchup, Sunrise will be able to pick almost every map against you. Besides the first.
I mean, that's supposed to be known as a rush team as well. We'll see if they wanna do it as well. If they wanna go into the brawl mirror, we'll see.
Okay.
And if I did my math correctly, whoever wins your matchup will be going against the winner of Legacy versus Enigma. Who do you think
That is
gonna
very
win
good
that
for us.
match? And
That's good for
who do
you,
you think
Sid.
will win? Who do you think will
Yeah,
win Legacy versus Enigma?
I think Legacy will probably take the win. They are, and I mean, I would fancy ourselves against Legacy
All right.
quite a lot.
Why is that?
They lost their off-tank player a few weeks ago. We've beaten them already in the season 3-1 and in pre-season. So I mean,
So your Legacy's one loss. Is what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay. And what do you think your team matches up well against Legacy?
We both like a brawl mirror. We're both known as brawl teams, so I mean, I guess we just have the better coordination.
Okay.
We also have the better D.Va player, so.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
Just call out my friends at Perma. They did beat us in the tiebreaker, but I mean, we'll be coming back in finals. They better watch out.
Oh.
That's what I will say.
Just laying down the shade. I see.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, and I guess that concludes Tier 3. Gotta move on to Tier 4 now.
Yeah. Thank you, Weeb.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So that was Tier 3 there. And now if we're gonna go into Tier 4, let's discuss the format a little bit. Format for Tier 4. It dropped from top 8 to top 7. Correct?
Yeah, because the team disbanded, is my understanding.
One of the teams disbanded, yeah. So the top 7 teams, the first team will get a bye week, and then seed 1 will get a bye week, seed 2 and seed 3 get to pick their opponents, and then seed 4 will be left with whoever did not get picked.
Yes, and the the top 7 in order for their seeds is Vasm Tier 4 at seed 1, WGA at seed 2, One Trickers T4 at seed 3, Project H at seed 4, Legacy at seed 5, Blitz Aries at seed 6, and Arrow 404 at seed 7. So we'll with Vasm being the team gets the bye, we're gonna start with the people that pick first, and then we'll bring Vasm in at the end to kind of get their thoughts on some of the matchups that were picked.
Yeah. So let's go in, bring in Mr. Durango from WGA. Hi there, Durango. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing fine.
That's good to hear. You guys were second.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think you were gonna get second? Did you think you were gonna do better, worse?
Of course, you always aim for like the top, but like Vestem had like a weird comp, and like we are from PlayStation and we're playing against Xbox teams, so we don't see the Sim Doom comp on PlayStation. But what I heard from several people that Aries was really good, so I expected us maybe on the 3rd place, but we're now on 2nd, so I guess that's well enough or good.
Yeah. You mentioned about playing against Xbox teams. Since your team is one of the few PlayStation teams on this side of things, with this being the first season of crossplay, what are your thoughts on playing against the teams from different platform? How do they stack up against like the PlayStation teams, as well as like how the different playstyles are different?
You see more on PlayStation. You see a lot of more of Pharah, which you don't see really often on Xbox though. What we have seen in matches. Also, it's like nice to like it's enjoyable to play against different teams, because like every PS4 team is disbanding, so it's like nice to play against new teams like we haven't met, and because of course play is possible now.
Yeah, I know. I play on our NI Tier 5, and it's really definitely interesting to play against teams I've never played against before, and especially because I've noticed at least the PlayStation teams in NI Tier 5 have usually a fairly different style to a lot of like the Xbox ones. It seems like a lot of the Xbox ones prefer like more of the brawl or double shield, and like a lot of the PlayStation teams preferred more like kind of dive, in my experience.
Yeah, exactly. But most of them are like also like play a lot of rush, so it's kind of the same. But like the double shield is not really a PS4 thing.
Why do you think that is?
I don't really know. I think it's maybe that people really love to play like enjoy instead of like forcing maybe places think that the double shield is boring or something, but I don't really know, to be honest. Or maybe it was previous season in CGL there was not really a double shield meta, and now it is.
Okay. Well, let's see. So, with you guys being the second seed, obviously, originally, the top 3 teams were going to pick from your tier, but with one team dropping, it goes to a 7-team bracket with Vazdem, the number 1 seed, getting a bye, and you guys become the first team to pick then. So, your team is able to pick between, let's see here.
Legacy Vestige, Blitz Ares, and Air 404 Phoenix.
So what team will your team be picking?
We are picking Arrow 404 because we know like a few players on the team.
Okay.
And it will be really like funny if they will play though, to see them.
So that's actually the one team that's not here, that didn't send anyone.
Wow.
So can't really have any rebuttal.
Yeah, so you can almost say whatever you, well, not whatever you want, but
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, so you can, so is this more of like a friendly matchup, or is this more of a grub matchup, since you said you guys know people in the team?
Like we know that, but I don't really know if they play. But either way, I think both teams are going to play really serious because you're in the playoffs and everybody wants to win. So I think we're going to see this match as serious, or like every match we're going to see it as like serious thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think your key to winning this match is?
I think just enjoy. Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I was going to just say, like, just like the one thing that your team feels like it needs to focus on in order to like perform well in these playoffs.
Like we're a little bit inconsistent, but I think if we just like enjoy ourselves, everything will be gonna be all right.
Okay.
So if you know what I mean.
No, I fully get that. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we move on to the next team picking?
Not really. I just hope like everybody's gonna have like or both teams gonna have a great match.
All right, we look forward to it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Durango, for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, that was Mr. Durango. They picked Air 404 Phoenix. And so now we're gonna go on to One Trickers, who have brought along Cager to do their picks, who is currently deafened. He's undeafened now. Hey Cager, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks.
So you guys ended 3rd in Tier 4. Is that above your expectations? Below your expectations? How did your team do throughout the season?
Well, probably above our expectations. I mean, at the start of the season, most teams thought that we were finishing 5th or 6th, but we actually ended up 7-2, plus 15 map diff, and ending up in 3rd. So I think that's pretty good, pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely.
With this being, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you. With
this being a long season, how would you describe or summarize your team season? Did you guys struggle at any point? Because obviously, people can have life events, people can come and go, and honestly, and meta's changed too. Through such a long period of time. Is there anything your team had to overcome during this that you think made you guys better?
Yeah, so like one of our players is actually having a live event right now. That's sort of like disrupting how we scrim and our in-game matches as well. But in terms of like meta changing and stuff that's more like Overwatch specific and how that like affects how we play, like we've just sort of stuck to, we've mainly like played like 1 or 2 comps, or like a variation of those 1 or 2 comps throughout those 9 weeks. So I don't really think that like the game shifting, and I think meta's like very overrated in terms of how that affects what our team plays. But yeah, we've been mainly playing 1 or 2 comps, and it hasn't changed too much Overwatch specifically. But yeah.
So you feel that your team being, instead of spending more time practicing a large variety of comps, you feel your team being very good at 2 comps has been an advantage for you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's one of the things I coach the team is to master 1 or 2 comps. Like I've tried my best to avoid any dive comps or any poke dive comps as much as possible. I'm trying to force brawl on dive maps like an Umbani, I'm trying to, I think the fundamentals behind that comp will get you far enough, especially even in tier 4, that the comp that you play doesn't really matter, and it's just about how fundamentally well can you play that certain comp. And Brawl is often like a very flexible comp. It's got a high skill cap, got a high value cap, got a high value floor, and I think it's a very open comp to play around. And there's a lot of counter picks you can do, and it doesn't require as much starting, getting up power compared to a comp like Dive, in terms of like getting value out of it. But yeah, it's definitely been an advantage.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, your guys' name is One Triggers, right? So do you think that, you guys practice 1 or 2 comps? Do you think that's was that the plan going into the season when you named your team, or no?
So like the name One Trickers, like we're not actually like a bunch of one tricks, even though we do have like a few one trick, so to say. Like we have like one Bastion main, we've got basically a BAP OTP, we've basically got a really good Tracer OTP that can flex the soldier sometimes. Like there's definitely some like awkward quirks that were thrown in from the team from the get-go when trying to form compositions and trying to be more flexible around that. But yeah, I don't think the name itself, One Trickers, the going into the part of the CGL season had a massive impact.
All right. So now we're gonna go into the picking here. You have 2 teams to choose from, the 5th or 6th seeds. So Legacy Vestige or Blitz Ares. Who are you gonna choose?
Legacy.
You're gonna choose Legacy.
Yes.
What's your thoughts behind how that pick happened?
Well, Blitz have a very good ball comp. They've got very, very solid DPS players. As well, Legacy, they actually, it's kind of funny with Legacy because they disbanded like quite a few times throughout the season, so they haven't got quite as much team synergy. And last time we played them, we beat them 3-1. And yeah, they're just generally speaking, Blitz is a better team than Legacy.
Okay, and you guys think that the comps that you want to play match up better against Legacy than against Blitz?
Well, we did have some struggles against Legacy on a specific comp, like specifically hog comps, but obviously positioning from the backline should hopefully fix that over time. And as long as we execute the fundamentals well and Brawl enough, then hopefully those hiccups that we did face against Legacy should iron out over time, especially when we get to our week 1 game next week.
All right, we're gonna welcome in Mr. Lemon Elk from Legacy.
Yep.
How are you doing today, Elk?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, I'm doing all right. So you guys just got picked by One Trickers. Are you feeling scared, confident?
Nah, not really.
Nervous?
Pretty confident. Midge just gave us a 4-page Reddit essay and why he's gonna lose to Hog and Ball again, so not that
Yeah, run your mouth.
Yeah.
Irish man.
Won. We had a tier 3 player in, and you still barely won.
Barely won. I don't think 3-1's barely winning, and also I don't think it's a smart choice over you guys, is it? I don't really think that's true.
Well, like,
And
you did
also,
finish
first
higher
of all,
than Blitz.
I mean,
You only finished higher than Blitz because you ruined it.
All right. So clearly this is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah.
Clearly this is going to be an interesting matchup. So Legacy, did you expect that they were going to pick you, guys?
Yeah, we were sort of expecting WJ to pick us for a bit, but then One Trickers came in. WJ picked Error, so then we sort of knew we were going to be picked by One Trickers anyways.
Okay, and you guys feel that... So you played Hog Ball against them last time?
Yeah, we lost the Rush Mirror, we picked Hog Ball, took a map off them, then we had an unfortunate DC in map 4 and lost.
Is that is Hog Ball something your team is confident on, or is it just something you did to try to like throw them off?
I think we're confident on unorthodox stuff, so yeah, I would say Hog and Ball's preferred composition.
Okay.
Okay, I see. So, obviously, you said your team barely lost last time. What do you think is your kind of in this rematch essentially here? What is kind of your team's like win condition? Or what do you feel like you guys need to do to get the W this time?
I think we just need to stick to these unorthodox comps because One Trickers don't really know how to adapt. They sort of can only play mirror matchups.
Yeah, run your mouth.
They really struggle to play anything that's not like a Rhine 1v1 because they're sort of just like 2-dimensional.
I mean, running different comps to throw people off is actually a pretty effective strategy, in general. Because I mean, that's what I was saying. You just practice so much against like things you expect, and when like all the mirrors and matchups for for how you expect people to play. When someone just throws something off the deep end to you, it can just like really throw you off. So with One Trickers there, with them probably gonna try to throw you guys off with a bunch of different things. How are you guys gonna counter that?
Well, like they can only really play one comp. They like pretend they can play a few others, lose every scrim, and then cry about it.
That's cap. That's cap.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to see it in the matchup then, because I'm really curious. Make sure you guys schedule something early. Like, I'm kind of curious to watch this one.
Yeah, let us know when it's going on.
Yeah, hit up Mr. Munching Carrot.
Just
to stream, man.
Yeah. But
I mean,
I have a question for you guys.
It's really exciting. It's going to be a field to us, obviously, but you know, whatever Lemon Oak thinks.
I got a question for you two. Obviously, this might not be correct, right? The brackets aren't official until Hedram or Herbachi release them. But if I did my math correctly, the winner of you two are going up against WGA or Error 404. Who do you think will win that matchup?
Obviously, WGA. We both think that. That's no question.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
do
WGA
both of your
wins.
teams both of your teams confident against WGA, or do you think since they are since they are a PlayStation team, how does that?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. We played WJ the other week. We had tier 3 player on again. We had some what else? Tier 3. We had a DC again. Lost. Nearly took a 5v6 off them. Very close to map 4. It was a very winnable game, but we just couldn't pull through in the end because we were at a few disadvantages. So I feel confident if we have
Oh, I think we're losing him.
Can't tell if my internet cut out or if it was his.
No, it's it.
No. Wait.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So.
Yeah. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm perfect. Wait, did I cut out there?
Yeah, you did. You cut out towards the end of what you were saying.
Mitch can go there anyways.
Alright.
Yeah, so we actually haven't scrimmed WGA in quite a while, so I think the last time we played them was like in preseason, and we tried to get scrim once, but they couldn't do it. We're also in another league, Shockwave, and we were scheduled to play them, but they didn't turn up. So we're kind of going in blind to WGA, but looking from their previous scrims and games, their ball seems to be a bit shaky, so we're going to try and force the mirror on that. And I don't think... I'm not really sure like how they play other comps, but I think we'll just play into WGA how we normally play into other comps and just execute the fundamentals with ball at least to win.
So with the playoffs being loser picks map after map 1, do you think that this is for both of you? Do you think that changes how you play, or do you think that will help you or hurt you?
Not really. I think One Trick is just going to pick 3 maps and it'll be over, but like, that's about it.
Okay. Is there any final words you guys want to have here before we move on to Project H? And like, yeah, obviously not like too toxic, but like, hey, a little better is fun.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Damp Champs. They should be number 1.
True. Rep up Damp Champs.
Alright.
Well, thank you guys for coming on today. Thank you for being good sports about everything. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.
Yep.
Alright, now we're going to bring in the 2 remaining teams, which are Project H and Blitz Aries. Let me drag these guys in here in Project H. So we're welcoming Botanic from Blitz Aries and Haizama, I hope I pronounced that correctly, from Project H. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, yeah. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. What about you?
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. So obviously, H, you didn't get a pick, but you're left with Blitz. Is that good for you guys? Do you think is that okay? Are you surprised that Blitz didn't get picked? Haizama?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you just repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you guys got left with Blitz Aries to play in the playoffs. Were you guys surprised about that?
I mean, yeah, a bit, because I did my calculation alone, and I thought we were playing against One Trickers. But I mean, BTRS is. I'm not very confident to play against them, to be honest. But it's fine. We're gonna see.
Okay, here. I hate to cut you guys off, but look, I just found out the Vazdem captain has to go in like a few minutes here. So if it's all right with you two, we're gonna bring the Vazin captain and send you guys back to the waiting room, and we'll rejoin you after that. Is that okay with you two?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay. We'll be right back with you guys. So we're gonna bring in Ecliptic, who's the captain of Vazdom, who has the first seed. So now that you know all of the matchups, we can ask you, Ecliptic, were you surprised by any of the picks?
Surprised by any of the picks?
Yeah.
Not remotely, no.
No. It kind of went the way you thought it would?
Completely, yeah. I think it was pretty obvious to see that Error were the weakest team of all the teams left. If we had a pick, we would have gone for Error, but we'll take the bye instead. And I'm not surprised to see that despite Blitz finish so low, they're one of the best teams left, so it's not surprising to see them.
Okay.
What makes you think, or what do you think led to Blitz having a lower record if you think they're one of the best ones left?
They've had some unfortunate events. They were rule booked, but that's a different matter. And they've had players not been able to make, so they've not always been able to field the strongest roster. I think if they've always had their strongest roster, they definitely get a few more wins and probably finish top 4. But it is what it is. They finished 6th.
Do you think they'll be able to field their strongest roster for the playoffs?
They should be. Yeah, it's not really for me to decide. It's up to them when they schedule it. But it's impossible for me to know. But if they do, they're a strong team.
Okay.
They've not got much depth, but with their full roster, they're a strong team.
So obviously, you guys have had a very good season. In fact, it was all wins for you guys, no losses at all, and only dropping 5 maps throughout the regular season. Looking back at your season, obviously, I mean, you can't really get much better of a season, but is there anything your teams had to work through or struggle for or overcome to get yourselves to this point?
At the start of the season, we were quite a weak team. We had a lot of people pitching us to finish pretty low at the start of the season. And then we've made some signings mid-season, which have definitely helped. We've brought in players like Defending, Crimson, Robbo around the week 5 mark, which has massively bolstered us. But even before then, we were a strong roster with star players in every role.
Okay.
All right.
And
so again, go ahead, Remember, sorry.
I was just gonna say something random. You go ahead.
All right. So if I did my math right, obviously brackets aren't complete until Headrummer and Hibachi release them. If I did my math right, you will be playing the winner of Project H versus Blitz Ares.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy with that matchup, or would you have rather had a different matchup?
We're not too fussed who we play. We've played all teams but one in the regular season, and we beat them all. We're not too stressed about who we come against. It's nice to have the safety of the losers bracket, but we shouldn't need it. We're not planning on relying on it.
All right.
Is there any specific team that, if given the opportunity to avoid playing one team, which one would you pick?
And probably WJ, just because we've not played against them much. We've played against them like 3 times all season, including games and scrims, so we don't know much about them, and they're a good team. But again, like I said before, obviously we'd rather let the stronger teams battle each other out before we play them, but we're not particularly scared of any teams. We've led the regular season talk ourselves.
Since you obviously sound very confident, what do you think makes you such a strong team?
We've got a lot of depth. We've not got any roles that let us down. Everybody in the team pulls their weight. We've got players that we rely on, but we're not lost without them.
And would you say your teams are fairly? Does your team take the route of being like fairly flexible and playing a whole bunch of different comps, or being very good at certain ones? Because we've seen different strategies from other teams, where we had I believe One Trigger saying they try to specialize in like say 2 comps or so. We had other teams as well talking about how they try to play comps to throw other teams off. How would you describe your team?
We have our strengths and we know our strengths, but we're definitely a versatile team. We've shown it. We've shown it through the regular season. Like we played every single map pool and looked strong on each map pool. Through like a dive map pool, through a poke map pool, through a brawl map pool, we've looked strong on all of them.
Okay, so since you've looked strong on all the map pools, you don't think the loser's pick will hurt you guys at all?
No, we're not too stressed about it.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say?
I'm expecting in the games. I'm expecting WJ, Blitz, and Legacy to all go pretty far in their respective matchups.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you joining us, especially right before your scrim.
Yeah, we thank you for waiting it out. You know, you were supposed to be the last person on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, we'll bring Blitz Aries and Project H back in here.
Yes. All right, guys. Welcome back. We had to squeeze him in before he had to leave. So going in here. Sorry about that. Botanic. I know you guys have been around for a while. Blitz Aries, that is, as a team, just in CGL. Is this your second or third season playing?
Oh, Botanic says it can't hear anything.
Oh.
Let's see.
Try and leave and try. Here.
Let's see if we can get this fixed here real quick. Technical difficulties.
Hello, Botanic?
Oh,
he left again.
I guess gotta drag him back in.
Hello?
Okay, you good?
Strange? There's something on the setting. Hazama, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess why don't we start with you then, and we'll see if we can get Botanic to fix his issues. It's only a picking channel. Interesting. I'm gonna have Botanic restart a while. Munching, feel free to ask your questions too here.
Yeah. So Hazama, you guys, is this your first season in CGO and competing and such like that?
It's not my first season. It's the first season with this team in general. I played like Tier 4 last season and Tier 3 when it was my first season in CGL.
Okay, so you've been here for a while. This
Yeah.
season, obviously, first season we've had PS4 and Xbox teams compete against each other. How was that experience?
I mean, playing against Xbox player it's like, I mean, I'm playing against Xbox player for in like 4 years, so it's not very strange now. But PS4 players are another playstyle, and in particular WGA. They played like a rush with Doomfist. It was really hard to counter. So yeah, the playstyle is different. It's strange, maybe a bit harder. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely just throws everyone off. It's just something different.
Yeah.
But so you're going up against Blitz. We've heard. That's strange. I don't know why it doesn't work. Sorry
Here,
about that.
do we want to? I mean, we could just move ourselves to the waiting room and see if it works there for him. So he said it was working there.
Yeah, we could. Okay, let's move down to the other channel then. Botanic, are you here now?
I saw his mic show for a second.
Botanic, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Botanic, you good?
Deafen? Undeafening? Maybe so.
What?
Have us muted.
Oh wait, I heard you. Did you hear us?
Yeah, okay, it's working now. Yeah. I just had to change output for some reason.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Anyway. So, first season, PS4 versus Xbox. Hopefully that went well for you two, both teams. I think it was a pretty fun experience for myself playing. But other than that, you guys were not picked by the other teams. How does that have you feeling? Are you confident that you weren't picked, Botanic, or do you think other teams are going to be scared of you going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I definitely think most teams will be scared of us going into playoffs. I confidently believe that we're the second best team. Obviously, league results don't show that because we've had our problems. But on paper, we're the second best and probably one of, if not the only team capable of beating Vazdim.
Okay. And how about you, Hazama? Are you confident in the playoff run? Can you make the playoff run, do you think?
Um, I mean, it's gonna be hard. I don't think we are the best team in this CGL. Vazdem, WGA, and Blitz are definitely really strong. Of course, better than us, but we saw that we can win. We can take maps to teams like this. So maybe we can do the surprise and go to finals and win the CGL. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a lot of hard work.
It is definitely.
Yeah. So do either of you have anything special you're gonna do to prepare for playoffs, scrim wise or anything like that? You gonna up the scrim count? You gonna take it easy maybe a little bit, or what's the deal there?
I think we're gonna do a lot of reviews after scrims.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah, I think we're similar. We'll probably keep like the number of scrims and that we play roughly the same because we don't want anyone to burn out at all, because that's not good. And I think we've started doing a little bit of reviewing as a team, whereas previously we've done it as a few players only.
All right.
Is there any final words you two want to have here?
No, not really. Because our last game against Project was like a really close 3-2. Like they reverse sweeped us, so just hoping that when we play them this time we'll be able to close it out.
Alrighty. Well, thank you both for joining us here. And I'm told Ecliptic from Vazan wants to make a short shout out here.
Alright.
Which will allow
yeah, thank you,
everyone to see.
Hazama, Botanic, for coming back in.
What was it?
Thank you guys for coming in today and sticking around with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so that was the picking show. We're going to have Mr. Ecliptic come back in for one quick second. Hi there, Ecliptic. Welcome back.
Hi.
So you have one more thing to speak out about.
Just wanted to quickly mention our coach as well. When I was talking about how flexible our squad is and how we've got all-star players in every role, a big reason for why we got so far is purely on the back of our coach. When we started preseason and we weren't that good, he came in when we were a bunch of average players and made us the team that we are now. Like the only reason we managed to go 9-0 was on the back of him.
What's the name of your coach?
JR.
JR. Well, I guess this is the JR carry then, right?
He's done absolute God's work for us.
What has he done special that you think has had so much of an impact?
Genuinely everything for us. Like the comps that we're known for running set comps, and they were completely like from the back of JR. He taught us how to play them. He taught us the nuances of them. We used to be horrible at like dive compositions. The only reason that we're competent on them now is because JR has taught us how to work as a team and how to play Overwatch in a fundamental level.
Okay.
We weren't a fantastic team before he came in, and he's the reason we're 9-0.
It's always good to hear a successful story of coaching, since coaching is always sometimes one of those controversial things where, you know, it could just be one saying like, do this, and then other people are, well, they actually have like a really one-on-one impact. So it's good to hear that JR is one of those coaches that can have that kind of impact on a team.
100% best coach in the league.
So I'm looking at chat here, and it looks like you went to your scrim party and JR paid you to come back to say that. Is that true?
I wish. No, I wish I was making money from that, but no, just he has genuinely done God's work for us.
An extra $5 for the second statement, I see.
Oh,
yeah, racking it up.
Alright, Ecliptic. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day.
You too.
Well, that is our picking stream overall for the EU side of the playoffs tournament. Hope everyone found it interesting. Feel free to leave. Obviously, this is our first time doing one of these things for the format. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions or criticisms in the suggestions channel on our server. we'll read it and see if we can make any potential improvements. We do also have the NA version of the stream, which will probably be a little longer because there's more NA teams, at 8 p.m. EST tonight. Same channel, and will be pretty similar to that time. The brackets, like the official brackets, we're aiming to have out on Saturday. Bearing any weirdness with stuff. But check out the server there tomorrow. And then, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all for joining us. Is there anything else you want to say, Munching?
No, that's about it.
Alright.
Special, the cowboy character in Overwatch just got renamed. It's official. His new name is Cole Cassidy.
Did it actually get renamed?
He got renamed. They just announced it.
Oh, Cole Cassidy. Well, I was
Cole
hoping for
Cassidy.
Carl, personally.
I mean, we were waiting for Dave or Calvin, but
Calvin would have been cool. But I guess that goes back to the whole, like, naming it after people they shouldn't do thing.
that's true. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully see some of you back at 8 Eastern.
Bye.
Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Lots of love. Got lots of love.